The Los Angeles labor movement has emerged as one of the most dynamic and vibrant centers of union activism in the country. How did this happen? And what does it mean for working people not only in Los Angeles, but throughout the country? Let's start with some basics. What is a union, and why are unions involved in the broader movement for social justice? A union is an organization of workers who form together to protect their mutual interests. As long as there have been workers, there have been labor unions.
Being in a union has meant respect as a group. 170,000 get a lot more attention than does one person.
If you think about the work of Dr. Martin Luther King and his relationship to trade unions, he actually got killed in Memphis when he was there to march with sanitation workers.
Some of the earliest unions developed along craft lines. Carpenters, bricklayers, printers, and garment workers formed some of the earliest unions in the country. In the 1930s, the United States saw the largest growth of unions in history when auto workers, steel workers, and other factory workers built unions. Some launched sit-down strikes and took over factories in order to win the basic right to form a union. So what have unions done? Unions have fought for many basic rights that we now take for granted. Unions won the 8-hour day, child labor laws, unemployment insurance, health and safety standards, workers' compensation benefits, vacation and sick pay, pensions and retirement plans, and employer-provided health care. In fact, it was unions that advanced the demand for public education. Today, union workers earn on average 30% more in wages and benefits than non-union workers doing exactly the same work. But equally as important, unions give workers a collective voice on the job. The world of work has changed over the years. We have transformed from primarily a manufacturing economy to a service economy. Today, the largest single group of unionized workers in the country is teachers. Los Angeles has not always been a union-friendly town. Over the years, Los Angeles has been home to powerful corporations that fought unions and prevented workers from forming and joining unions. This began to change in the 1990s when some of the most dynamic organizing in the country took place here in Los Angeles. The Justice for Janitors Union re-energized union organizing with their bold and creative tactics and successfully reorganized the janitorial industry of Los Angeles.
We represent janitors who are low-wage immigrant workers. We represent security officers who are low-wage, largely African-American workers. Well, Justice for Janitors represents a powerful movement. It represents a fight for a better life for workers, janitors, immigrant workers.
And in 1999, the largest union organizing victory in decades was won right here in Los Angeles when 74,000 home care workers joined their union.
The diversity of our union is one of our core values. That it is not a problem that we have to do things in translation. It's our strength.
One of the leaders credited with spearheading the revitalization of the Los Angeles labor movement was a man by the name of Miguel Contreras. Miguel grew up in a family of farm workers in the Central Valley of California. He learned from Cesar Chavez and Dolores Huerta, the founders of the Farm Workers Union, and he came to Los Angeles with a powerful conviction to organize workers. The Los Angeles labor movement championed the cause of organizing immigrant workers. In 2006, the largest immigrant rights demonstration in the nation's history was held in Los Angeles. It was held on May 1st, International Workers' Day. 120 years before, the first May Day was held in the streets of Chicago, led by immigrant workers from Ireland, Italy, Poland, and Russia. In 2006, the May Day demonstration was led by workers from Mexico, El Salvador, Guatemala, Korea, the Philippines, and the Caribbean. Immigrant workers have brought the spirit of May Day back to the U.S. labor movement.
The history of the labor in this country is about immigrant rights.
Another historic contribution of the Los Angeles labor movement is the transformation of the political environment in Los Angeles and in California. Miguel Contreras was at the forefront of that change. He organized political power for workers and built an army of political campaigners to canvass door to door, neighborhood by neighborhood, and to staff phone banks to reach out to friends and neighbors. Miguel helped to elect some of the most progressive politicians in the country, including Congresswoman Hilda Solis, who went on to become Secretary of Labor in the Obama administration.
For the past decade, we've seen many of our protections eroded in the workplace, whether it's safety, enforcement, wage and hour laws, OSHA laws that help provide those protections, but more importantly, also making sure that you have businesses that comply by the rules, that provide for good wages, and that they don't skirt the law and somehow create those elements that really bring down wages for all working people.
Fabian Nunez and Karen Bass, who both became speakers of the California State Assembly, and Antonio Villaraigosa, mayor of the city of Los Angeles. Miguel tragically passed away at the age of 52, but fortunately his wife, Maria Elena Durazo, the former president of the Los Angeles Hotel Workers Union, was elected leader of the Los Angeles labor movement, the first woman and the first woman of color to ever hold that position.
We stopped calling them illegals. We stopped calling them aliens. We stopped calling them lawmakers because they are hard-working men and women who want to be in the labor movement and who are helping to build the labor movement of this nation.
LA is one of the most diverse cities in the world, with one of the largest immigrant workforces in the country. Los Angeles is the manufacturing capital of the country and is home to the country's largest port, which provides a vital link to the Pacific Rim. LA is also the entertainment capital of the world, an industry that provides many good-paying union jobs. Of all U.S. major cities, Los Angeles has the largest gap between rich and poor, and unfortunately has also become the sweatshop capital of the country. In response to this gap, LA Labor and Community Alliances built the living wage movement to demand that workers be paid not just a minimum wage, but a living wage that will allow them to emerge from poverty. Labor and community alliances have enacted sweeping community benefits agreements to ensure that economic development projects benefit not only corporations, but also the workers and communities where the projects are based. These alliances have also established construction careers policies to ensure that good union construction jobs are maintained and that those jobs are made available to inner-city communities and to communities of color. Labor and community alliances today are working to promote green jobs, a win-win initiative that will create good jobs, reduce energy costs, and help promote a healthier environment for all. Labor has also reached out to youth and students, and young people are playing an increasingly vital role in working with unions to advance a movement for social change.
It isn't some building in Pittsburgh, it isn't some building in Washington, D.C., but at the end of the day, the union is us. And if something is wrong with our workplace, it's up to us to change it.
Los Angeles and California have benefited for decades from a vibrant, dynamic labor movement.
Working conditions, the environmental issues that we have that make it better to have open space in California parks. All of these I attribute to the impact of the labor movement, not only in Southern California, but in the state of California. And I think that working families have a lot to thank for the labor movement.
As in years past, unions will continue to play a crucial role in working for social and economic justice. Unions continue to represent the hopes and aspirations of millions of workers throughout Los Angeles and in California, and indeed throughout the world.